Hi, it's great to be with you this afternoon. I'm so glad you've tuned in. I was looking back and thinking about the decade of the 70s, the 1970s, and it was known for a lot of things. For me, it included my high school graduation, 4 years of college graduation, and getting married. The 70s were also known as the dawn of the disaster movie genre, beginning with the movie Airport, which was released in March of 1970. It was a blockbuster which spawned lots of sequels, spin-offs, and a slew of additional disaster movies. Two in particular stand out personally for me, paralleling big events that came just a little bit too close to home. The first was the Airport movie, which revolved around a man who was bent on blowing up the airplane mid-flight, and it ended dramatically as the damaged plane came into the runway and struggled to land because there was a lot of snow and ice and everything, and it took a long time for them to land safely. Months after seeing the movie, our family was invited to our relatives in Colorado for Thanksgiving. Since our time there would be rather short, we decided to fly, which was actually going to be the first time for our entire family to fly. The flight out was fun, and the flight out was easy and fun, and we had a great time with that. Now, on the way back, when we were making our descent into the Des Moines airport, we went through thick clouds, which eventually became driving snow. And on the runway, once we got on the runway, we just kept going and going and going. And it seemed like we would never get stopped until we hit something, just like the final scenes of the Airport movie. But eventually our plane slowed to a stop. Later, we learned that we were at the absolute end of the runway by the time the pilot finally got the plane stopped due to the ice and snow. How scary. The second parallel movie was the Poseidon Adventure, in which a cruise ship is overwhelmed by a huge wave and turns completely over, leaving a small group of survivors to work their way from what now is the top of the ship to the bottom, which is what's exposed. Spring break of my freshman year, a friend from New Jersey invited me to go with her family on a cruise down the East Coast. We would be in the open ocean for several days. I was thrilled to be invited and excited to go. My mom, not so much. She kept bringing up that movie, but I kept telling her it was going to be fine, everything would be all right, and eventually she relented and said I could go. Nothing remotely bad happened on the cruise, but I have to say, I thought about the Poseidon Adventure quite a bit when we were out in the open water. Many times as followers of Jesus and Christian community, we come up against opportunities that strike fear in our hearts. Maybe we've been asked to be on a committee at church that we don't feel qualified for, or to give our testimony, or even worse, pray out loud in a small group. Or maybe we're asked why we're a Christian, or why we believe in God from someone who has no faith, or whose faith has been shaken by events in their life. In those moments, we need to remember to call on the Holy Spirit to give us words to say, to give us the courage to stand up for our faith and not be reluctant to let someone know why our faith is important to us and what we stand on. As Paul wrote to the Romans, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes, first to the Jew, then to the Gentiles," which is us. Trust God to give you the words and the courage to speak up. Have a great day. Bye.